What is going on, beautiful kings and queens, gods and goddesses? It is your host, the one and only KiMu, and you are now tuning in to the Ankh Living Podcast, where you are going to be getting a whole lot of gems. And I'm talking about gems that are going to change your life. I'm talking about gems that are literally going to awaken you to something that is going to improve your health, your wealth, and the relationships that you carry with other people and yourself. So if that is something that you would love to hear more of, because you know you want to kick it with your boy every Wednesday, make sure you go ahead and you subscribe and or follow on whatever platform you are listening to this on. And then of course, after you go ahead and subscribe and or follow, make sure you go on the gram and follow your boy at Ankh Living Podcast, just like the title when you see it. It's ANKH Living Podcast. So let's get into a little bit of a recap from last week's episode where we had talked about life being a business. In that episode, I went over one of my favorite animes because if you did not tune in to the first episode titled What is Ankh Living, I expressed my love for watching anime. And the anime that I really resonated with, life is a business, is Full Metal Alchemist. And the reason why I even brought that up is because in Full Metal Alchemist, there is something that is called the law of exchange, which says the work you get out is going to be greater than the work you put in. I have to make that very clear because I don't know about you, but I learned in physics class at one point that the work you put in, the work you put in equals the work you get out. And that's not true. It's very far from true. Actually, the work you get out is multiplied by the work you put in. That is the truth. I also went over how we can use this formula that we now have, this scientific formula. This is not just something that, I just said or just, no. I've heard many people who have been studying life, who have been studying the science of life and personal development. They say the same thing. The work that you get out is going to be greater than the work you put in, whether the energy you put into it is positive or negative. If you put negative energy into it, you're going to get more negative energy out of it. If you put positive energy into it, you're going to get more positive energy out of it. So make sure that if you want positive results, make sure you put in positive energy into the business of life. Which brings us to today's episode. And I'm about to tell you why it's titled the way it is. Because in my community, in the community I grew up in, there were a few phrases that were always thrown around. One of them being, stop being emotional. Another one being, you all in your feelings. Another one being, why you being so emotional? And especially these phrases get targeted at women in particular. Because they come off to be more emotional than men are. But in my experience, me personally, men are just as emotional as women are. It's just that in many communities, men are told they have to hide their emotions or they have to hide their feelings or mask it behind something else. But the thing is, what I realized in my journey, we don't really, we have this thing where no one teaches us what emotions are. No one teaches us what our feelings really are. We just know that we're happy, we're sad, we're distressed, we're depressed, we're anxious, we are excited, we're ecstatic. But nobody tells us, nobody teaches us what they are. What are emotions? Emotions boils down to three simple words. Now I'm pretty sure you're like, KiMu, come on, like, man, be for real. Like, three simple words. You're telling me three simple words. Nah, man. You telling me that me being happy, me being sad, or whatever, me being fearful boils down to three simple words. Yes, I am telling you that it boils down to three simple words. And those simple words are energy in motion. Literally, energy in motion. We all have seen energy. We all, I guess, have this idea of what energy is, but energy just is. It's just something that flows through the universe. It is proven and it is said to be something that is in everything, anything that is inanimate and animate. So the thing is, we don't really know how to use our emotions. We don't be, and I feel like the reason why we don't know how to use our emotions is literally because of the fact that we never knew, nobody ever told us or taught us what emotions really are. You can't know how to use something if you don't know what it is. Energy is the same as you seeing a car drive by. It's just the only difference is you are able to manipulate and move the energy that the way you wish for it to be moved. You carry this energy in your subconscious mind, and your body follows through on the energy that you carry through in your conscious mind. A lot of times we don't know how to use this because of the fact that we nobody taught us this information that I'm giving you, and this is why this information is super pivotal. Nobody teaches us emotional intelligence. Honestly, I stepped into emotional intelligence and emotional management on my own. The only thing that made me stretch and have emotional intelligence and have emotional management is just being in a relationship. Literally, being in a relationship really made me have to stretch and have some type of sense of emotional intelligence, because there was a time where I was depressed. I was always carrying around negative energy. I was always stretching myself for other people, but I never stretched myself for myself. And the thing was, I did not know, first of all, I did not know what was triggering negative emotions. And also, I did not have emotional management. Like, I wasn't managing my emotions at all. I wasn't managing the the emotions that I was allowing into my subconscious mind. See, that's the key. A lot of us are allowing negative energy to penetrate our subconscious mind, and we're not being conscious of it. And because we're not being conscious of the energy that we're allowing into our subconscious mind, because the thing is, our subconscious mind takes in everything. There was a test Hitler ran a test. You know what the test he ran? All those announcements that he had going circulating through Germany during World War II, with appropriating, sorry, not appropriating, but building a constructive environment for his Nazi ambitions. Subliminal messaging. If you have something played, that's why they use propaganda to make us think a certain way. That's really why we have to be careful with what we let into our subconscious mind, because this affects our emotional. This affects us emotionally. This affects the energy that we allow to circulate in our mind. And if we're not conscious of what is going on, we cannot be aware of what is coming in. And we cannot be aware of how to dissociate ourselves from that. Think about it. Here's a great example. If you ever hung around somebody who is always complaining, I'm pretty sure, maybe not that day, maybe not the next day, but you're going to turn around and you're going to end up following the same cycle of complaining. And especially if you have a situation similar to that person, you're going to end up complaining about the same thing. You want to know why? Because it's built into your subconscious mind to do so. You have allowed energy in motion from somebody else to penetrate your subconscious mind. And now you've put that energy into motion in your own life without you even knowing. That's the crazy part. A lot of the emotions that we express, we don't even know that we express them. And the only time that we actually reflect and analyze our emotions is when they're negative, when we're upset, when we're angry. But what about the times when we're feeling positive emotions, when we're elated, when we're happy? See, the thing is, the reason why we go for things such as recreation is because recreation is meant to make us feel good. It's meant to have us move with positive energy. But you could definitely tear down recreation very easily. I've seen it on the basketball court. I've seen it. If you are bringing negativity onto the basketball court or to any recreation that you're participating in, is bound to take the positivity, the elation out of it. Hands down. So, how do we use these emotions to our advantage? Well, we literally have to make a decision. We have to make a decision on what energy we want to carry. If you want to carry positive energy, if you want to receive positive energy from the business that you have with life, you're going to have to put positive energy into the business of life. I go into a little deeper context in the last episode about this, but you have to make a decision first. When I decided to have a more positive life, I had to make a decision first, a conscious decision, not something like, oh, it would be cool to have a positive life. Like I said that 3-4 years ago. I didn't say positive life, but I said a life of happiness. I said that 3-4 years ago. And the thing was, 3-4 years ago, I didn't have emotional intelligence. I didn't have emotional management. I didn't have any of these things. I didn't have any of the gems that I'm giving to you today. I've heard them, but I wasn't able to implement them in my life. So the moment I made a decision to move positively, then things became different. And you know what I started doing? I started seeing things in a more positive light. I started smiling more. I started viewing my job as a service, not as a means to get money. Because the thing is, and this is proven. As long as you're chasing money, it will always run from you. Every single time it's going to run from you. I don't chase my dreams. You want to know why? Because they're there for me to have. I put positive energy into my dreams, into my goals, because I know I am deserving of it. Shoot, right now, I'm literally just waiting for my bank account to match what I'm feeling because I'm a millionaire. My bank account just hasn't caught up yet. Those are the tips and tricks that I literally, those 4 points that I just expressed are literally the tips and tricks that are going to help you create the positive, constructive business with life. Because now you know how to manage your emotions. First of all, you got to dig deep and figure out what in the world not only makes me sad, what am I afraid of, what makes me depressed. And I'm gonna get into depression in another episode because I dealt with it for a very long time. I didn't even know. Most of us are actually depressed every single day, and we don't even know it. It's mild depression. But see, the depression that we normally say that somebody needs help for is severe or chronic depression. But we have to really dig deep and find out why we feel those negative emotions and why we feel those positive emotions. What makes you happy? Why am I happy right now? Why am I calm right now? We should be asking why. When we are children, we're told always ask why. What happened along the way? Well, somebody shut us down, and once we get shut down, especially as a child, once we get shut down for so long, we end up not even coming back and asking. That's most people. Me, I always wonder why, and I always continue to ask why, especially if I was actually interested. So let me go back over those 4 tips. And along the way, like I said, make sure you are developing emotional intelligence and having and creating a space for emotional management because those 2 things are important. The first tip, make a decision to be positive. Make a decision to have a positive lifestyle. Make a decision to have bliss, happiness, joy. Make a decision. That's where everything starts. Second, you have to smile more. Even on days where it's tough, where it's hard, where things are just not going my way. Guess what? I'm still, every time I see somebody, even though we got these masks on, I still smile. And the thing is, they can tell that I'm smiling. You want to know how I know? Because I talk with inflection. I do not talk as, hey, how you doing? Nah, man, get out of here. I don't want to hear that. I know you ain't doing great. Get out of here. I say, hey, how's it going? I could have just got in an argument with somebody. And I still talk like that because I made a decision to be happy. I control the emotions that I put out into the universe, onto other people. Not them, not anybody else. Third, you need to, I'm not going to say you need to, but it is highly suggested that you view your job as a service, not as a means to get money and pay bills. We're always going to have bills. But if you want to create a lifestyle that you are happy with, you have to view what you do as a service. I did not know this 4 years ago when I had a job. If I was able to wrap my head around this and have the emotional intelligence that I have, it would be different. Things would be different. It wouldn't be worse. It wouldn't be better. It would just be different. View whatever you do as a service to somebody else and a service to yourself, because everything is going to come back. It's always going to come back. As long as you serve other people, the amount of energy you're going to get back is going to be exponential. I promise you. I promise you. I am an eyewitness. And the last tip, make sure you apply these to all the other aspects of your life. Make a decision to be happy. Make a decision to carry positive energy. Make a decision to smile more. Make a decision to have a little bit elevation in your voice. Make a decision to stop talking to people who complain. Make a decision to cut people off when they start complaining to you. Make a decision to do things that are going to get you closer and have better emotional stability. Make a decision to be conscious about the environments that you put yourself in, whether they are realistic or they're virtual. Doesn't matter. Make a decision. And I'm going to leave you with this. I'm definitely going to leave you with this. Here's a question. Where are you sending your emotions? Are you sending them to a negative space in your mind that you really don't have much control over? Probably your boss has control over it, or your significant other has control over it. Maybe your dog has control over it, your hamster, your fish, your children, your neighbor, mom, family member. And the other one, what energy do you want from the business of life? What energy do you want to be set in motion from the business of life? Think about those two questions. Come at me with the answers to those questions, whether they are on the gram or whether they are on some platform. Come at me with the answers to those questions, or don't come at me. It doesn't really matter. But these questions are super pivotal. I'm going to get y'all out of here. This was a wonderful session. Thank you for tuning in. It is the one and only, your boy, KiMu, on Ankh Living Podcast. You have just tuned in, and I will see y'all next Wednesday. Remember, next Wednesday. And I can't wait. I can't wait to talk to y'all next Wednesday, because next Wednesday is going to be awesome again. And also, if nobody has yet told you that you are loved, that you are beautiful, and that you are amazing, let me be the first, because you are. I don't have to know you to think those things of you. Peace and blessings, peace, love, and happiness all day, every day. Beautiful kings and queens, gods and goddesses. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to talk to y'all next Wednesday. Peace.